Sometimes you will have a conversation with somebody and the things that you hear and what they say is absolutely not the same thing.
It's so different. Yeah.
Have you caught that on recording yet?
My husband did. And it was
It's a rough one.
embarrassing to listen to because I'm speaking out of straight trauma. Like it's not what he said, but it's insecurities within me that I'm hearing.
We had that on an episode where after the episode I was fuming angry, and when I went back to edit it I started crying and was like, I'm so sorry. Like, this is not at all how I perceived this moment, because it's on film. I know your tone wasn't there, your facial features wasn't there. Everything that I was taking in the moment wasn't real.
Wow.
I was having a full-blown episode during an episode, and we ended up posting it.
Yeah.
And unless I was to give you the number, you would have no idea that that was even a thing. But I was fuming angry afterwards because I thought that she was being very condescending and shitty towards me, and it wasn't at all the case.
Wow.
So that borderline thing could be very real, and that comes into being able to switch from an emotional process to a logical process and thinking and asking probing questions and being able to communicate properly. So,
man.
And for your listeners, we both have BPD.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's a lot to navigate, and a lot of our disruptions boil down to, well, none of that was real.
Yeah.
We talk about what we felt in the moment, what triggered it in the moment, and how we can prevent it in the future.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a quick question before anybody goes? How many of you go back after these panels and watch the discussion that we had after a panel discussion, whether it's on Sunday, tonight, whatever? Do you guys go back and re-listen to the whole discussion?
Just make sure y'all unmute because everybody's muted.
I plan on to. That's funny that you said that because I want to.
I do it sometimes.
You do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I do that sometimes. And the reason why I do that is because, one, I'm trying to make sure that I made sense and I effectively answered certain questions the way that I was intended to. And then also, how did I perceive and how did I come off, right? When we're in the moment, we think that we're right and we think that what we're saying is right because we're in that moment and we have full conscious of how we're presenting and how we're communicating and how we're giving off to other people. However, when you go back and listen to yourself and you go back seeing yourself, that's when you start, oh, I sounded terrible. I looked terrible. And I could tell I was very frustrated. And then that's the moment when the light bulb goes off, realize yeah, I made an ass out of myself right there. Right. And I think that's the humbling part. So I was just curious if people did that. How you?
But I think that's growth too. Has a lot to do with growth. You can go back, you can critique yourself, maybe change your perspective a little bit based on what somebody else said and do better next time or have more knowledge moving forward. I think that's the whole point of the panels, to learn from each other, listen to each other's perspective, and move forward on what you can do better.
Yeah. So Kelly, did I, what you saying that, did I convince you of letting your male friend go?
Oh my God, we are not going back there today. We are not going back there. But what I will say about the whole friend thing is that having friends is a big part of what I do, so it's kind of hard to just cut people off. But what I have learned to do is take that title off of it and use other words. Because I know the friend word is triggering for some people. So I've modified my words a little bit.
Hey, shout out to your growth.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate everybody here for that.
I have a quick question. They reference BPD. Does anyone know what it is?
Bipolar disorder.
I thought, but I'm like,
or disorder.
Borderline.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to note that I have this written down and quoted from Lewis's dad. Communication is a part of love. If you don't have it, you don't have anything. But I think the big thing about it is comprehension. It's comprehension. Like, Am I with this person? Why did I attract this person? It's something there, because out of all the billions of people you could be around, I'm here with you. What is this teaching me? I feel like if everybody, whether your role is physical, spiritual, everybody should take a minute to like think. I think sometimes we just speedball through things, like, but everything is so, we can speedball. Life happens, right? I don't mean that we can just slow walk everything, but when we have the opportunity to really sit and digest why something has happened, what feeling you having, like you're saying, the way to communicate it, but comprehension is the biggest. I think that's the biggest thing. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
So I don't disagree with you. I think you're onto something. Comprehension is a big component, but to kind of really comprehend your person, I think you have to be well in tune with them, right? It's not so much you're communicating and talking about stuff, man, because honestly, you could talk about anything from movies to sports to whatever. But I think it's more of ensuring that they effectively pick up the message in what you're sharing, right? Especially when you're talking about the most deepest, most intimate parts of you, your experience, your upbringing, your shortcomings, your traumas, right? Where your triggers lie, right? That's another part too. I might say something that might make you feel a certain type of way that I did not know, that in that moment I just realized, oh, me saying this or bringing this up triggers her. Okay, noted. But instead, some people who are not in tune with their person, they'll keep pressing that button, not realizing what they're doing. And although they must subconsciously be thinking that they're trying to communicate something, unfortunately, what they're doing is keep running into that dead end wall and triggering that person. And now you have two people who are at odds with each other, who are at odds with each other simply because there is a bridge of effective communication in their comprehension, right? He is not picking up on the fact that she does not like that. And she's also in her feelings at that moment. And so she might not be able to convey that to him. And there's a missed opportunity on both ends. One for the lesson, the other two for the ability to extend grace and make sure that they comprehend exactly what is wrong at that particular moment and not let that build up and fester. Are you?